We had to think more of what was like more convenient for the customer. So day trips was one thing, just to introduce people to the idea and see how that worked, getting them in the canoes to begin with, and people who are afraid of going on the water and afraid that it's going to tip, you know. And then also another thing that changed with that idea was because of the cost of starting out. If we had started out doing overnight trips, we would have had to book way farther in advance. We wouldn't have had so many walk-in guests. And we would have had to spend a lot more money on gear and have more guides, more first aid, more of everything. So we started out a lot simpler.
Lots of research. People need to get out there and go out there and do your research, do your homework, and getting whatever it is that needs to be looked at. Don't be afraid to go and ask and the questions. I think research is the biggest asset to people wanting to do that, to do planning. We wanted to go into it 100% because we knew that was going to, one, that was going to work, and two, that eventually we were going to get there. And we needed to make our application to NEDC 100%, and we didn't want any questions that were asked about our business. We needed to know that we could answer anything that they asked. It took us a long time, a year and a half, to do the planning and how much money you're going to bring in each month, how much you're going to pay out. It's a guessing game, and we did that when we put the money part of it on it. We thought the figures that we originally put in were the right figures, but when it actually came to doing that, when the business was physically here, those numbers were way off whack, because fortunately for us, it was on the low side, and the numbers that we put in were on the low side, and what it actually was way up. We went over it on the weekends for a year. We went and we plugged in the figures, the plan, how we were going to do it, where we were going to do it, and at that point in time we didn't have a place to open, so we had to really search around Tofino. And one of the things that we knew right off the bat is location. As you need a really good location where people are going to have to pass you, and that location was superb for us to give us a good start, because it was the center of town at that point in time.
We had this big dream of a real elaborate hotel, $10 million project. We just couldn't afford that. Our contribution, we came to a conclusion that we had to rethink, and one of the major top items was the hospitality. Because of the tourism was increasing in this area, seeing that the fishing industry has declined quite a bit, so has the forestry. And there's close to 1 million people, I think, that visit Tofino alone each year.